My name is Heights V. Hernandez, and this is our video presentation. On this video, we will discuss about women and violence. The learning outcomes. At the end of this chapter, the student should be able to identify the various forms of violence against women, explain how even subtle forms of violence affects women, and articulate ways to prevent violence against women. On this topic, guys, we will talk about violence against women. So what is violence against women, or VOW? VOW strikes at the personhood of women, says the Philippine Commission on Women. Violence against women is a specific form of violence that attacks person as their core gender. It also has a physical and emotional effects on women. In some societies, it is so ingrained that violence committed against women does not seem like real violence. In most societies across the globe, acts that comprise violence against women may be seen the norms because of women deserve what happened to her because oppression has been normalized. So, according to the Magna Carta for Women, it states that vow is any act of gender-based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women, including threat of such acts concerns or arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or in a private life. So this is the types of violence against women. Number 1 is a sexual violence. Number 2, physical violence. Number 3, psychological violence. Number 4, economic violence. Number 5, spiritual violence. Number 6, domestic violence. So we will discuss these types of violence. So let's start on what is sexual violence. Sexual violence is the forcing of unwanted sexual acts upon a person. The best example here is the rape. This is the common cases that women experienced. No? Rape is a type of sexual assault involving sexual intercourse or other forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without their consent. So that was the rape. And this is the another example here is incest. Sexual acts between family members or closely related individuals. Now, as we can see in the news, there are a lot of women that abused by their family, by their stepdad, by their father, by their brother, or etc. and in the part of the family. So that was incest. And here's the another specific examples of sexual violence. The sexual harassment. This is, as we know, the sexual harassment, a specific form of a sexual violence occurring outside the home involving manipulation, intimidation, or blackmailing. The next is the physical violence. What is physical violence? Physical violence involves causing physical or bodily harm against another person. As we look on the examples of physical violence, they are hurting the women. So next is the psychological violence. What is the psychological violence? Psychological violence involves causing harm to a victim through the use of emotional manipulation in harm to a victim. Through the use of emotional manipulation in mental suffering. It focuses on the mental of the person. This is the specific examples of psychological violence. The repeated verbal abuse. This affects the emotional of the person and the mental. And the next is marital infidelity. It affects also the emotional and the mental of the person. So next is the economic violence. What is the economic violence? Economic violence is a type of violence that controls a person's ability to access and use economic resources. Economic violence can also include controlling how and when money is spent or making the victim ask for money. Now, this is the examples of economic violence. The number one is the controlling finances. As the word control, no? Taking control of a partner's finances, including their bank accounts, credit card, and other financial assets. So that's the controlling finances. Number two, the withholding resources, refusing to contribute to household cost or withholding access to money, food, or other essentials. Number three, the threats is the familiar word of threats. Threatening to kick someone out of the house or using violence to force them to hand over money or property. So the next is the spiritual violence. What is the spiritual violence? Spiritual violence or spiritual abuse happens when someone uses spiritual or religious beliefs to hurt, scare, or control you. It can involve someone forcing you or your children to participate in spiritual or religious practices when you don't want to. This is the specific examples of spiritual violence. Number one is the forcing participation, making someone participate in religious practices that they don't want to. Number two, the preventing practice, stopping someone from practicing their religious beliefs. Number three, using religious teachings. Using religious teachings to justify controlling or manipulating someone. Number three is shaming. Using religious or spiritual beliefs to shame someone. And number five, imposing identity. Gradually imposing the abuser identity, values, and beliefs on the victim. Verse 6, scare tactics, using statement like God will withdraw his love if someone doesn't obey the rules of the church. So that's the spiritual violence. At last is the domestic violence. What is the domestic violence? Domestic violence is the willful intimidation, physical assault, battery, sexual assault, and or other abusive behavior as part of a systematic pattern of power and control perpetrated by one intimate partner against another. It includes physical violence, sexual violence, psychological violence, and emotional abuse. So that is the domestic violence.
So, good day everyone. I'm Rosemary Florendo and I will be discussing another types of violence against women. On sexual harassment, the UN Women Watch has a list of possible acts of sexual harassment. These include verbal, physical, and non-verbal incidents. Verbal incidents involve whistling at someone, catcalling, making sexual comments about the person's body, sexual innuendos, turning work discussion into sexual conversations, telling sexual jokes or stories, asking about sexual fantasies, preferences, or history, asking personal questions about social or sexual life, making kissing sounds, holding and smacking lips, making sexual comments about a person's clothing, anatomy, repeatedly asking out a person who is not interested, and telling lies or spreading rumors about an individual's personal sex life. Non-verbal incidents include the following: staring or leaning at someone, looking someone up and down, blocking one's path, following out the person, stalking, giving unwanted gift, gesturing sexually, licking one's lip, and throwing kisses. So, physical harassment involves touching a person's hair or clothing, hugging, kissing or stroking or patting a person's body, rubbing oneself sexually against a person, standing close, or brushing against a person. Violence against women in public spaces. Street harassment is sexual harassment that occurs in public space. A prior relationship between the assailant and the victim is not required. The harassment may involve catcalls, shouting of sexual obscenities, unwanted sexual gestures, blocking a person's path, indecent exposure, grouping, and the like. These actions create a hostile public environment and women are mostly the victims. Pornography, prostitution, sexual slavery, and sex trafficking. So what is pornography? Pornography may be the most controversial issue in the feminist circle. It is defined as presentation through publication, exhibition, cinematography, indecent shows, information technology, or by whatever means, of a person engaged in real or simulated explicit sexual activities or any representation of the sexual parts of a person for primarily sexual purposes. Pornography is any product that has sexual explicit acts, which is sold for consumption. This article may contain sexually graphic content, such as naked people in copulation. This idea of selling consuming bodies visually is present in pornography. However, some pieces that illustrate explicit sexual acts are considered erotic art, thus creating a blurry line between erotica and pornography. Pornography is also a workers' issue because of the conditions involved in working for the industry. Women who participate in the industry may be abused or discriminated against. The health of both men and women who choose this profession may also be at risk. So, what is prostitution? Prostitution is defined as any act, transaction, scam, or design involving the use of a person by another for sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct in exchange for money, profit, or any other considerations. The woman and the person to whom she has to serve sexual favors do not need to be in a relationship. Like pornography, prostitution involves the buying and selling or sexual intercourse or sex-related activities. While there is the belief that women should be free to explore their sexuality and that sex industry is a viable industry whose workers should be protected. The patriarchal world in which it exists does not create a safe environment for those type of work. Numerous issues are involved in the exploitation of women based on their sex and gender in the sex industry. Issues that are related to prostitution involve sex terrorism, sexual exploitation, and sex slavery. Sex terrorism uses sexual services as a selling point for terrorism, in which a person may go to a specific location to experience sexual activities. Escort services are also considered forms of sex tourism. A woman can fall into the trap of sex slavery through false promises by employers, abduction, and bondage. Emotional manipulation is also used to shame women and enforce the notion that a woman who enters sex slavery can have no other job once she gets out. The social stigma, health issues, and lack of work options and regulation cause women to be vulnerable to abuse in this line of work. Sex trafficking involves the recollocation of women from one place to another without them knowing where they are going. These women are often agree to go to these places because they have been promised employment by a legitimate employer. Other forms of violence, reproductive or medical abuse. Other less known from above have to do with issues related to having or not having children. Women may be forced to get pregnant, use contraceptives, or undergo abortions. Another forms of violence is the withholding of information about safe pregnancy, contraceptives, and childbirth. Medical abuse can also happen on women. Examples of this form of violence include coercing women to undergo medical procedures such as removal of their uterus or forced tube ligation. The use of women in the medical experiments without their consent, and forced C-section on the pregnant woman who was willing and able to go through natural birthing methods. Abuse of women in intimate relationships. Women who are abused by their partners are called victims of intimate partner violence or abuse. It entails any form of violence or harm against a woman by her current or former partner, husband or live-in partner. The abuse of women in intimate relationships is seen as a major health issue that affects a woman physically and emotionally. It also causes psychosocial harm. How prevalent exactly is abused women in intimate relationships? Several health reports shows that at least 1 in 3 women have become victims of physical or sexual violence at least once in their lifetime. Up to 70% of these women reported their perpetrators to be their intimate partners. While abuse women in intimate relationship may involve sexual violence, it has been categorized as a different form of violence by a United Nations because a prior relationship is not necessarily for sexual violence to be considered as vow. So, here's are the laws in violence against women. Number 1 is Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. This law penalized sexual harassment into the workplace, schools, and training environments to protect individuals for unwelcome sexual advances and conduct that creates an intimidating or hostile environment. Number 2 is Anti-Rape Act of 1997. This law redefines rape as a crime against a person's dignity, emphasizing consent and imposes stricter penalties for rape and sexual assault. Number 3 is Rape Victims Assistance Act of 1998. This law ensures rape victims receive medical, legal, and psychological assistance, promoting their recovery and protection. Number 4 is Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003. This law combats a human trafficking, especially of women and children, addressing sexual exploitation, forced labor, and other forms of abuse, with provisions for victim support and legal penalties for traffickers. Number 5 is Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. This law protects women and children from domestic violence, abuse, and other forms of violence within intimate relationships, providing legal remedies and protections orders. Number 6 is Anti-Mail Order Bride, Law of 1990. This law prohibits the business of arranging marriages between Filipino women and foreign nationals for exploitative purposes, protecting women from abuse and human trafficking. How to prevent violence against women. Awareness and education. Promote gender equality and nonviolence through schools, media, and community programs. Empowerment of women. Support women's education, economic independence, and leadership. Engaging men and boys, encourage positive masculinity and involvement in ending violence. Legal reforms enforce laws protecting women and ensure fair access to justice. Safe environments, improve safety in public spaces and workplaces. So here are the response and violence against women. Support services, provide medical care and counseling and legal aid to victims. Shelters, offer safe spaces and long-term support for women escaping violence. Coordination and community involvement and multisectoral approach. Health, legal, and social services must work together. Community action involves leaders, youth, and bystanders in challenging violence. Monitoring and evaluation. Collect data and assist programs to improve policies and interventions. Conclusion. Violence against women remains a serious global issue affecting millions across different cultures and societies. It takes many forms, including physical, emotional, sexual, and economic abuse, and is deeply rooted in gender inequality and societal norms. Addressing VOW requires a multifaceted approach, including legal protections, education, community awareness, and support systems. For survivors, governments, organizations, and individuals must work together to challenge harmful beliefs, enforce strict laws, and provide safe spaces for women. Only through collective action can we create a society where all women live free from fear, discrimination, and violence.